Happy Wednesday. This is Mayor Mike, 740 Main Street, East Hartford, Connecticut, affectionately known as Town Hall. And these are the answers to the Ask the Mayor questions you've submitted in the last week. We have a handful today, and I'll start with question number 74 from Ryan. He said, hey, I just watched your video from a few weeks back. I think the idea to paint murals on the pool houses is a great idea. I saw you guys already painted a mural under a bridge. Does the town have any plans for any other bridges? So Ryan, let me back you up and say the town does have more plans for murals. I'm just not exactly sure they're going to be on the bridges. We are working with Rise Up for the Arts, and I believe we will have 3 more murals. One of them, in all likelihood, will be a pool house, if not 2 of them. We're also contemplating one to slow the traffic down at Forbes and Brewer, and then we'll have a 3rd location. So more murals are coming. I'm not exactly sure of the locations. Apparently 1 will be a pool house, 2 will be the roadway at Brewer and Forbes, and then the 3rd one is yet to be determined. So stay tuned, we'll produce that answer at a future Ask the Mayor. Ryan, excuse me, also asks about, what about painting the traffic control boxes by the intersections? And unfortunately, Ryan, I didn't look into this in a lot of detail, but I think those are state property, so we'd be prohibited from doing that. But I appreciate the question, and stay tuned for more murals. Question number 75 comes from Katie. Can you provide an update on the latest news for the Silver Lane plans? And then our car tax is being lowered in East Hartford. So let me put the Silver Lane Plaza or the Silver Lane plan update on hold, because I want to tackle some of the other questions which relate to that. And let me first take Katie's question, are car taxes being lowered in East Hartford? And the answer is yes. We are one of the many towns, about 49 in total, that will have our mill rate drop to 32.48. So that is down from 45 mills. So that's approximately $12 in change for every $1,000 of value your car has, that your tax will be dropped. To give you an idea, a 2018 RAV4 with a value of $16,750 will have roughly a $210 tax reduction. A larger vehicle, significantly more. So this, again, if your vehicles aren't old, if they're fairly new, this amounts to a couple of $100 up to as much as $1,000 for some of the what we'll call expensive luxury cars. So the answer to that question from Katie is yes, car taxes are being lowered in East Hartford. 32.48 is the mill rate that you'll use, and that's down from 45 last year. And that will offset some of the value that you saw increase in your house. And even though we dropped our mill rate from 49.35 to 41, due to the higher values related to COVID, you are going to see higher residential tax bills, but that will be offset by lower car taxes, a $300 tax credit on your tax return when you file your Connecticut by April of 2023. We have higher up to $900 of senior citizen tax breaks in the event you own your own house and are more than 65 years old. And then of course we have some child care credits that the state put into play, $250 per child up to 3. So there's a variety of things out there that will offset your increasing house taxes. And I know it's not the greatest time given where the economy's going, but you should hear that. Now back to the Silver Lane plans. I want to add a few other comments before I kind of holistically answer the question from Katie on Silver Lane. This one is Cherie. She's excited to see the team in town is planning to start some activity along the old Silver Lane Plaza. She's writing to give me suggestions on what to bring there. She'd like a Walmart, and she'd like a Price Right, and some other clothes shops and more affordable shops to shop from. Also some food restaurants. Hear you loud and clear, but let's pause and I'll explain that in a minute. The next one is somebody who wrote in named Tanika, and that's write-in number 77. She's been a resident of East Hartford for 12 years, and she loves what's happening. She's read about the new development in the old building that used to be the Burlington Coat Factory. That's the old Silver Lane Plaza, and then the pet store. I would love to see a grocery store there since Stop and Shop is gone, and some affordable shops. I would love to have some local businesses to shop and spend money in East Hartford instead of going to Buckland Mall. Thanks for bringing new housing and hopefully new business to East Hartford. So to Tanika, again, we're going to answer those questions in a couple of minutes. It's a kind of a long story, and I don't want to go through it multiple times just so everybody who's watching doesn't get inundated and then tune me out. The next comment is, actually, before I go into the next comment, it's a different topic, so let me talk about Silver Lane Plaza. We have a number of things going on Silver Lane. The first is called a study. It's called the Silver Lane Study, and it has come out of the redevelopment agency. We started the study in January, and it has gone through the work with a company called Goldman & York, and they have really identified buildings up and down Silver Lane, pretty much from about where Taco Bell is right through to where the post office is. Generally speaking, that's the area. And they had what I think is a pretty neat comment in there, and I'm happy to repeat it. It said, Silver Lane is not overbuilt, Silver Lane is under demolished. And we're taking that thought and we're taking it seriously as it reflects the Silver Lane Plaza, which some people call the old J.M. Fields Plaza, some people call the old Burlington Coat Factory store location. But in any case, it's right on Silver Lane. It's in front of the Charter Oak Mall where Stop and Shop used to be, and it's in front of the Showcase Cinema site, which is where the Jasco apartments are going. So that being said, the town will have a study completed in short order. The redevelopment agency has already passed it along to planning and zoning for their approval. 35 days needs to occur as a waiting period, and during that 35-day period of time, the public can comment. There will be 2 legal advertisements, and then planning and zoning will take up that study. We really hope they pass that study, and that I believe is somewhere in late July. I want to say July 26th is the period of time that we have planning and zoning looking forward to approving that study. On the very next day, or as early as the very next day, the East Hartford Town Council can take up the matter, and we hope they do, and we hope it's a special meeting, and we hope they approve it. That means by the end of July, we will be in a position to have final negotiations with the owners of Silver Lane Plaza. We already have money in place to buy it from the state of Connecticut, and we hope we can strike a deal with the owners to secure that. So I would love to tell you that by the middle of August, the end of August, and the way things drag on, certainly by the end of September, that the town of East Hartford will have the Silver Lane Plaza under control. The existing owner has not invested any money into it, has not attracted development, and has no plan. So we're using the blighted condition that plaza is in to really force a discussion. And again, we hope that results in the owner selling that to the town, because we are prepared to buy it, demolish it, relocate the folks in there so that they land softly, and ultimately turn Silver Lane into a place we can all be proud of. So that was a long answer to the initial question, can I have an update on the plans? But more importantly, what happens next after we get it under control, after we demolish it? I would love to wave a magic wand and have Target and Walmart and Kohl's go there. I would love a Chick-fil-A, and I would love a few other sit-down family restaurants. But at the end of the day, that's not up to me. That's up to the market. The market creates based on the demand in the community. It creates the demand or the lack of demand that caused Stop and Shop to pull up roots and leave. It causes the lack of demand where that Silver Lane Plaza site, without government intervention, is unable to develop itself. So while I love the ideas of shops, grocery stores, restaurants, local shops, the market needs to be corrected. And when I say the market needs to be corrected, here's what I mean. We vitally need those apartments, those 439, to me, they're luxury apartments, but they call them market rate amenity rich apartments. We need those to bring in the associated $15 million of additional income that will create the market that will be ripe to allow somebody, whether that's a family-run business, whether that's a grocery store, or whether that is some type of shop, to locate there. If there's no disposable income to buy things, retail will not relocate to East Hartford. So step one, let's build the apartments. That then puts foot traffic on Silver Lane. Step 2, let's demolish the Silver Lane Plaza, and let's get on with looking at what can go there. At the end of the day, I want you to be proud and happy of the community that you live in, and the plan to build apartments is but one step. The plan to acquire the Silver Lane Plaza is but step 2. And then all of a sudden, with those two things done, Charter Oak Mall almost redevelops itself. So be patient with us. We have a plan, we're executing the plan, and we need the community to support us. And based on those 3 people that I just read, there seems to be some building support for the community, which I'm excited about. Question number 78 is really less of a question and more of a statement. It comes from Dawn. She says, "Hey, Mayor Mike, I just want to let you know that the staff over at Parks and Rec Department is fabulous. She's been working with them to schedule a date to have a pool party for her daughter's birthday. They called back as promised. They have been extremely pleasant and helpful. Please let them know I appreciate all their hard work and customer service." So Dawn, I took the opportunity to read that because this is a shout out to Parks and Rec. We have a lot of great town hall employees, police officers, firefighters, public works administration, and folks in the parks, as well as public works people. Sometimes they don't have their best day, but I know nearly all of them, and on any given day, they do provide a high level of customer service. So Dawn, appreciate your shout out on that one. The last one is I want to end on a happy note, and this one has been at least for me, a fairly positive communication to the community. This comes from a 3rd grader at Langford Elementary School named Trinity. And Trinity says, "Dear Mayor Walsh, I am writing to you today to talk about a big issue in our town. That issue is people are not being kind, especially kids and teenagers. Us kids and teenagers are the next generation, and I don't want kids to have to deal with mean people. In my life, I already have to deal with mean people, and my friends have to deal with it too. I'd rather get bullied and not have my friends and community be bullied. If you don't help, I'll do it myself, because people like me want this issue to be changed forever. One time I got bullied for one of the tiniest things. I got bullied for my hair. This is why the town of East Hartford should have a better and nicer community." Trinity, I couldn't agree more with you. One, that's why I'm reading this message. Hopefully anybody within the sound of my voice slows down and does something on a pay it forward basis in terms of being nice to people. We had a political icon named Melody Curry. I had worked for her for a number of years, and she was my mentor, she was my friend. She passed away. If for no other reason than to honor Melody Curry, be kind to somebody today. We're not promised tomorrow, so let's use today. But to jump back to Trinity, here's the conclusion in Trinity's letter to me. In conclusion, events in cleaning up our community is just good for the town. Just remember, if you add events in the ability to clean up our town, this is good for you and the community. So as I close, please consider adding events into cleanup day so adults can get out of work early. East Hartford can be the best town possible. Sincerely, Trinity. So on that note, I agree with Trinity. Pay it forward, honor Melody Curry. East Hartford's a great town. Let's make it even better. This is Mike from Wednesday. This is Ask the Mayor. Take your questions next week.